It's the PC build that's been called the national standard, the one that millions of gamers have trusted. But let's be real, tech moves fast. So can yesterday's champion still throw a punch today? So that's the big question, isn't it? We're taking that legendary combo, the Intel i5-12400F and the NVIDIA RTX 3060, and putting it through its paces to answer one thing. Should you still build this PC right now? Okay, first, let's get reacquainted with our contender. And this isn't just some random pile of parts. For years, this exact setup has been, without a doubt, the king of the mainstream. At its core, you've got the Intel i5-12400F processor, paired up with that beefy 12GB version of the NVIDIA RTX 3060. Yep, this is the dynamic duo that won over so many PC builders. So why did this specific build become such a legend? Well, it's actually pretty simple. It hit the absolute sweet spot. You got fantastic performance that could chew through pretty much any game, but it didn't cost you an arm and a leg. It was available, it was reliable, and it was powerful. The perfect people's champ. But that was then. How does it hold up now? Let's throw it into the ring, starting with the ridiculously competitive world of esports. Our first test, the insanely popular and pretty demanding Counter-Strike 2. But before we dive into the numbers, we gotta talk about a key concept. We're about to see what happens when a game is CPU bound. Here's an easy way to think about it. The CPU is the brain and the GPU is the muscle. In a game like CS2, the brain can only process things so fast. The muscle, our powerful RTX 3060, is just sitting there, totally ready to go, but it's waiting for orders. The CPU is the bottleneck. And the results are kind of wild, honestly. Take a look. At 1080p, our frame rate is great, but the GPU usage is only sitting around 45%. It is literally bored. Now, here's the crazy part. We jump to 1440p and then all the way up to 4K, and the frame rate barely even moves. It just hams out around 200 FPS. That right there is a textbook CPU bottleneck. But wait, there's a really important plot twist here. It's not just about the hardware. Turns out, CS2 itself, well, it isn't perfectly optimized yet. On the original Counter-Strike, this exact same i5 processor was easily pushing over 300 frames per second. So the game's code itself is playing a massive role here. So what's the big takeaway from our first test? It's simple. For esports games, the RTX 3060 is basically overkill. It has so much power just waiting to be used that your performance is actually being held back by the processor, not the graphics card. Okay, so now let's see what happens when we completely flip the script. Next up, we're diving into PUBG, a game known for its huge, graphically intense landscapes. This time, it's not about the CPU's quick thinking. This is an all-out test of the GPU's raw pixel-pushing muscle. And the results couldn't be more different. At 1080p and 1440p, everything's amazing, holding a super smooth 140 frames per second. But just look what happens when we make the jump to 4K. The performance just tanks, dropping way below 100 FPS. This is a completely different story from CS2. And here's the smoking gun. At 4K, that GPU is absolutely screaming for help. Its usage is pinned at 99%. There is nothing left to give. Now the muscle is completely exhausted, and it's the brain, the CPU, that's just waiting around. The tables have turned. The GPU has become the bottleneck. So in PUBG, we see the other side of the coin. For these graphically heavy games at really high resolutions, the RTX 3060 starts to show its limits. It's still a powerful card, no doubt, but 4K gaming in today's demanding titles will push it right to its breaking point. So we've seen two completely different scenarios, right? The esports test, where the CPU was the star, and the graphical marathon, where the GPU was gasping for air. So what's the final verdict? Is it a champion or a has-been? It really all comes down to this tale of two bottlenecks. If you're playing fast-paced esports games, your RTX 3060 has more than enough horsepower. It's your CPU that you need to worry about. But if you're playing beautiful, graphically demanding games, your GPU is going to be the thing holding you back, especially if you try to crank the resolution to 4K. Which brings us all the way back to that first question. Is this build still a smart buy? And the answer is a confident yes. But there's one big if. If you're gaming at 1080p or 1440p, this build is still an absolute king. The value you get for your money is just incredible. But if your dream is to play the latest, greatest games smoothly at 4K, then no, this build is no longer the champion it once was. So the People's Champion still holds its ground, dominating the resolutions where, let's be honest, most people are actually playing. But with new cards like the RTX 4060 always on the horizon, the question becomes less about can it compete today and more about for how much longer? Is it finally time to start looking past the legend?
If you enjoy this video, please like, share, subscribe and hit the bell to the later update from my channel. Thank you for watching till the end and see you in the next video.